Welcome to the Inside Story on Franchising, with valuable insights on how to create multiple streams of income through franchising and building businesses. Host Ricardo Matos has spent more than 25 years building businesses in multiple industries and helping other business owners succeed. His expertise and entrepreneurial know-how will educate and inspire you. On the show, Ricardo brings together industry experts and insiders who share solutions and strategies, along with a passion for helping entrepreneurs make the best decision when it comes to buying a franchise or any business opportunity, and much more.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night for all those listeners who are listening and viewing us all over the world. Today we have Petra Buric. Wear a double hat. She's a marketing expert in corporate, working in the big multinational actually. She's a certified PDI consultant, a coach for mindset leadership and change management and paradigm shifting for individuals and organizations and team alike. Welcome to our Inside Story of podcast, and actually franchise podcast. Petra, how are you today?
Hi, hey everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. If you're listening this during the night, you're maybe a night owl. I used to be one. So thank you for having me here. It's a real pleasure and honor to talk to you, Ricardo.
So Petra, what can you tell us about you and who you are and what is it your company do within this environment that we're living in today and society?
So I will start with first hat, which is marketing. I landed in marketing through a coincidence, actually, but I really love it. And since I deep dived into it, I understood that basically every one of us is a marketer in their private and professional life. Because every time you're trying to influence someone, give them an idea, get them to follow you, you are marketing it. You are actually selling it. So selling is part of marketing. The other hat is, like you said, mindset, it's leadership, it's change management, you mentioned paradigm shifting, and this is something really special. It actually means shifting our usual habitual ways of thinking, feeling, and acting. So it's change of habits.
Interesting. You know how this year it has been a roller coaster and so strange, and how people are coping with everything that is going around. How does the resilience means to you, and or how do you emphasize to help that within our society?
So this word, I don't think I have ever heard it so often as in 2020. And everyone asks me, so how do you build that? And they look at me and how I behave and how I accepted this year. And everyone is like, how can you be so happy? And how can you be so relaxed? And where do you get all this energy from? And my answer to that is, you know what, guys? I have started my own personal journey of change management and habit change 4 years ago. And because of that, when COVID and 2020 hit me, it was maybe 2 weeks of reassessing. Where am I? What happened? What can I do? It's not sitting in a corner and crying and, I am so helpless. This is not true. This is our habitual reaction. I can't do anything, but it's not true. You're more than capable of looking into yourself, into your talents, into your strengths, and focusing more on that. Yes. And asking yourself, what is that I bring to the table? What is my value? How can I make more of this expressed to my own good, to the good of my family, of my friends, and mankind in general? And when you start focusing on that part, this is where you start getting inspired and motivated from within. And this has been the biggest shift for people that I consult and coach, to understand that they don't have to be externally driven. It's not what the society says, the media say. It's not even what I say to you. It's what you feel inside. But habitually, we don't listen to ourselves. we go around and ask people, what do you think I should do? Or we read the newspaper, or we scroll, social media. This is what I teach my clients, to stop being externally driven and start looking inside.
So one of the key aspects of your business is to help them people go through a breakthrough mindset, right? And as you explode that within, that within awareness of each individual person, we all have it inside, right? What you help do is guide them and channel all those thoughts, the negative, the positive, and the neutral thoughts, into a way that can explode where productivity, according to a methodology and a method that you've been taught, right? And that you've been having emphasized. What can you enlighten us more about those techniques in the coaching world that you are in? And how are you surpassing all breakthrough expectation for people to interact or integrate within their business? How are you surpassing all those things for them
Great question.
Have to break through?
Really, really great question. So I started to be a coach. It was after I started to implement and study this for myself. So my journey started within me. So this is why I know what is happening when people go through different stages of this transformation. It's not that I ask my clients do something that I have never done myself. I know exactly how this looks and feels like. So this is the first thing. The second thing is there are a lot of different coaches. In almost every industry, you are faced with competitors. How are you different from others? What differentiates you? I never answered to that question because no one is like me. So I don't have competition. And this is exactly the same for every single entrepreneur, person, corporate, whoever, whatever you do, no one is like you. So no one starts from the very same base that you are operating from. So you have no competition. The only competition that you have is you.
I'm writing as you go. As you're talking, I'm writing because it's the essential what you just said to me. First of all, you look within you, right? Second of all, from what you're telling me is you look out the difference between those who are around you and those who are coming to you, right? And from what I can see is how your life will actually surpass all expectations by you being different from everyone else. Make yourself more of a unique, right? Not common. I like it. Interesting.
One of my recent posts on Instagram was start becoming. What I meant by this is start becoming who you were always meant to be. In our core essence, we are perfect as human beings, as spirits, talents, passions. But what happens during the years is that we cover that perfection with doubts and worries and fears and what ifs and all the worst case scenarios. And this is like a fog in front of our eyes so that we cannot see our true self. But what happens is I help people to understand what steps do they need to take to clean this fog, to gain clarity. And it's not just clarity about themselves, who they really are, but it's also clarity, for example, what goals should I pursue in next year for my business? And, we are approaching the end of the year and now people are starting to think about those goals, personal, professional. On the 1st of January, this is the highest number of gym memberships you will see, right?
Yeah, so
everyone's,
year, right?
Yeah, I'm going to live my healthy life. And the majority of those New Year's resolutions, they fizzle out.
They phase it out, right?
After a month or two, you're out. Why this happens? Because we want to change our behavior. And we start with the behavior. But the behavior is not the cause of our life results that we have.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Our results are caused by the habits, and we have to change the habit, not the behavior. And this habit lies within us. This is why I said at the beginning, we start from within. So we make almost like an inventory. What are the habits that I have? Mental habits, physical habits, emotional habits. And we almost like benchmark those against the goals that you want to achieve. Habits can be bad and good, or rather I say supportive and non-supportive. They will bring you forward closer to your goal or not. And so when we have a list of our habits, ways of thinking, beliefs, you have probably heard this term limiting belief. So when we have a list of those, we go and examine, okay, which one would make the most impact, most positive impact for me if I change it. And then we deal with one or maximum two, and we change this for good.
So let me ask you this. One of the key aspects of your essential help coaching is that you're helping individuals change their mindset on how their business should take off, and between marketing, between what their mindset is in organizational responsibilities, right? And it sounds to me that what you're actually doing is that each individual person that you're working with, as they're stating problems and issues, you're helping them do a breakthrough those process between marketing. Since marketing in today's society is all about psychological evaluation of entity, how people interact and connect. You help those people to surpass all levels of communication within self, right? And you use certain techniques from who taught you? What's the organization that created your training background from?
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned my title, which is Certified PGI Consultant. So this is Proctor Gallagher Institute.
Okay.
And the author of this method, Bob Proctor, he has been studying and implementing those techniques for over 60 years. So he has been working with companies like Dell, the computer giant, IBM, Remax, real estate, Malaysian Airlines, and a lot of very big companies, because they all realize that a company is made out of people.
Yes.
If you take people out, there's nothing left. People create goals, people create processes, people create financial results. So if you do not invest in people, then what you will have is a big building with a bunch of stuff in it.
So that's a good narrative of integrating. So for all of our listeners, what would be a good advice for you, people who are starting a business, who are growing a business? Where can they use your services, in the beginning, in the midpoint, at the end of the point, or should they use your services of enlightenment throughout the entire process from beginning to end? When would that be?
There is a very, very easy answer to that. The best moment to start is now, because you only have now. You cannot act in the past, and you cannot act in the future because it's not here yet. So this is like a very quick answer, but in reality, this process can help you at whatever moment. But let me give you maybe some examples at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. At the beginning, when people usually decide to become entrepreneurs, it means that they are leaving the corporate 9-to-5 world and they are transitioning into their own business. So
and you're laying a path for them at that respect, right? So they can understand at the beginning point, right?
Exactly. They have to transition from being an employee into an entrepreneur. This means when they are employees, all the big decisions are taken for them. They don't have to think about the strategy. They don't have to think about, okay, where should I invest my money right now? They're just given a task or a bunch of tasks and they execute them.
For a paycheck, yeah, for a paycheck, right? Now, when you become an entrepreneur, your mindset has to change. It's a paradigm shift, right? It's a paradigm shift where they allow you to understand that your mind has been a neutral for a short period or a long time, and now you come into a realization that you have to expand your knowledge of ideas on how to go about do A, B, C, D, E, F, G on that order, Because if you're accustomed just to do what we call it simultaneously, what do you call these days? What do you call what something is repetitively? It's the same thing, right? Predictable,
Yeah,
right?
the routine.
Routine. When you're doing a routine, you're set up with that routine. Your mind is not expanding. It's not growing. It's not it's not evolving. So now that you become an entrepreneur, your mind has to be bing, boom, bang, coming with ideas, coming with methodologies, solving problems, and creating solutions one after the other one, right? That is that's the initial step of becoming an entrepreneur. Your mindset has to evolve, and otherwise you just fall behind. What is the midpoint of that aspect overall?
Once you have established your business and you already know what you're going to sell, products or services, now all of a sudden those questions come. So how do I attract the right clients? How do I speak to them? How can I scale my business? How can I employ the right people? What happens
employ the
if
right
I
people, yes.
What happens if I have to dismiss someone? I'm spending 80 hours plus with my business, so my spouse at home says that I am neglecting him or her, and I don't spend enough time with my family. When I'm with my family, I think about the business.
Time
And
management.
vice versa.
Time management, right? Organizing the time management, how to delegate, how to attain, and what to stay focused. Yeah, that's a very good logical aspect in the midpoint. Very interesting. And what about the last point on what should I say, or the third point overall of the coaching aspect?
Once you have reached a certain success, what you have imagined for yourself, all of a sudden comes the question, okay, what's next?
Yeah, exit strategy, right? Or continuous strategy.
I have reached my goal. So how do I find something bigger, more inspiring, motivating? All of a sudden, those questions also, why should I do that extra mile? I should actually just enjoy what I have created or not.
How to keep that drive moving, right? How to keep that drive moving.
The trick is you get addicted to this feeling. And if you just sit and relax, you can do this maybe for 3 days and then you get bored.
You know, and I know I gotta say this because you have that thing on the wall. What is it called? What can you enlighten us on that? Because I know there is something psychological behind this. Can you elaborate on that? Because it is driving me insane. I know it has some pillars and it has. Can you explain about the conscious and subconscious of that?
Absolutely. This is the core of what I do. This is you. This is me. This is every person. So let me explain this. This is called the stick person. And it's at the core, it helps us to understand ourselves when we go through that coaching process that I do. So the bigger circle is our head.
Our brain, right?
This is our body. The upper part, what you see here right now, this is the conscious mind. The lower part is the subconscious mind. This what looks like a little antennas, it's not our hair. Those are our 5 senses.
Oh.
So with these, we hear, smell, taste, and touch. So with these, we are connected with the external world. And we have been taught and programmed to live through those. So whatever I see, I read, I hear, it influences me. There is a very important distinction between the conscious and the subconscious mind, and I want to quickly explain a little bit about that. The conscious mind is the one with which we think, we reason, we can learn, we take decisions, and we say, I'm going for that instead of that. We can reject things. We say, no, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm walking away. We also have the distinction between the past, present, and future. This is important to remember because now when we go into the subconscious part, this part of our mind is the part where all our habits are stored, our emotions, beliefs, and it actually drives our behavior.
I'm telling you, your topic and your information about the conscious and subconscious mind is so powerful, it's so enlightening, and it takes so much to know about the mind and how the mind interact with other people. And we're running a little short out of time, but I really want to emphasize can you enlighten us and let us know where our listeners can find information about you between your website and who you are and obtain more information? And I know we will have information within our podcast associated to you, but where can our listeners find you information about you, where they can connect with you?
I'm all over social media. You can find me under my name on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. Whatever platform you choose, you can message me directly.
Is it under your name?
Yes, my name Petra Buric. So you can find me on those three media. I will also give you all the links to my profiles. I'll be really, really happy to talk to anyone, even just for connecting and listening to you, to your challenges, questions, and help you to get clarity, even in just one small thing. And if we are a good fit, my ways of working and your needs are a fit, then we will see where we go from there together.
Well, Petra, I love our entire podcast. It has been very insightful information. I'm looking forward to know more about the conscious and subconscious mind and move forward. I want to thank you for being part of our podcast. I want to say people who would like to expand their mind and go forward in expanding knowledge and wisdom on how to attain certain things in your path of success, look for Petra Buric. And she will go from there and she will guide you and teach you how to move forward into your business. Petra, again, I want to thank you very much. I look forward to our podcast in the future and all the great success.
You've been listening to the Inside Story on Franchising with your host, Ricardo Matos. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. That way, you'll never miss a new episode and you can help spread the word to more entrepreneurs like yourself. We really appreciate that effort, and we'll catch you next time.